AIDS Research Alliance has used its unique position both in Los Angeles and in the wider scientific community to advance cutting-edge treatment and prevention strategies.
We've identified a niche in the science that is uniquely ours, an area where we are willing to take risk because it is the persistent, enduring obstacle to solving the mystery of AIDS, and that's viral eradication.
The current therapies for HIV disease are not the final answer for the treatment of the disease.
It's important for us to realize that as more and more people go on these medications, for every new patient who gets access to medication, more than two new patients become infected.
So we started really talking and debating about what really needs to be achieved now in the era of highly active antiretroviral therapy, or HAART.
And we decided that our primary emphasis was going to be on viral eradication. That is, eradication of the HIV reservoirs, the latent virus.
Today, researchers have come to understand that latent viral reservoirs, hidden pockets of HIV-infected cells, can lay dormant in the body for years in spite of aggressive treatment. It is those cells which can reactivate and multiply that stand in the way of a cure.
So we made our mission to actually eradicate HIV. And Dr. Steve Brown, who's a huge hero in this, came across this drug, prostratin, which had been discovered by Dr. Paul Cox on his Mormon mission in Samoa.
Prostratin, a molecule isolated from the bark of a rare jungle tree, long used by native healers, was introduced to Dr. Paul Cox, an ethnobotanist, who sent it to the National Cancer Institute to be screened for potential use. NCI discovered prostratin stops HIV from infecting healthy cells, but unexpectedly also activates HIV production in cells that have been lying dormant.
It wasn't just a process of stumbling upon this compound called prostratin. It originated with a scientific theory that we needed to find things that could activate the latent viral reservoirs.
Having acquired the license from the National Institutes of Health to develop prostratin, AIDS Research Alliance has been vigorously pursuing the means to produce and study prostratin and related compounds.
As we speak, we're in the process of erecting a new research platform which will focus on eradication of the latent virus, that is, the reservoirs. Prostratin is one of the compounds that we're going to be working with.
I think it's really interesting that we've been working on the reservoir issue for at least 12 years, and it's only recently that NIH and other funding groups have begun to express an interest in funding research. We are further ahead than anyone else with a new compound that targets the reservoir. We are way, way, way ahead.
When we started talking about the possibility of eradicating HIV, no one thought it was possible. And today I think all credible scientists think it will eventually be possible.
To meet the challenge head-on, AIDS Research Alliance recently expanded its scientific capabilities by moving into a new office building in downtown Los Angeles.
We've more than doubled in size here at ARA. The scientific team has grown significantly. The clinic has expanded. In addition to our regular processing lab, we also have our own research facility.
We have major collaborations going with academia. We are currently in the process of ramping up for a major vaccine study sponsored by the HIV Vaccine Trials Network.
And as AIDS Research Alliance has changed, so have the communities most affected by HIV.
The face of this disease today is a face like mine. It's the face of an African American woman or a Latina woman. It's increasingly a disease of people of color.
It's really important to mobilize and get people involved in medical research who are going to benefit from the research. And so that means you need to have women, you need to have communities of color. Everybody is affected by HIV. every walk of life has been infected. So if you have research that excludes key people of the population, how do you know that that's going to work?
The core mission remains the same. And all along, AIDS Research Alliance has relied heavily on the generosity of its private donors.
Nobody has an unlimited budget, and so the organization has to be really smart, really strategic about the things that it's looking at and that it's studying.
It's never done, and it's never over. Fundraising is tough, especially currently. That's something that I think everybody involved should be a part of, because everybody can be an ambassador to some degree for the organization.
There are very few, if any, HIV research organizations in the world that are doing some of the things that AIDS Research Alliance are doing.
We're a nonprofit we're dedicated to putting ourselves out of business.
And so we've come from being this little scrappy grassroots organization to really being somewhat in the mainstream of the medical research community. So I think it's a pretty remarkable journey that we have traveled.
People that donate, they might give $5 or $1 million, and they probably wonder, what does my money do? Well, it changes people's lives, and I'm very, very grateful to be a part of that.
Thank you for generously supporting AIDS Research Alliance.